In several of my previous videos, I tried to inform my respectable viewers that Egypt does have red lines in Libya, and if these red lines are crossed, definitely Egypt will interfere directly in Libya. Now, this very clear statement, very unequivocal, clear stance of Egypt, Egyptian President Al Sisi, he has spoken. He said that Al Jufra, Sirte, definitely red lines, and if these red lines are crossed, Egypt will definitely directly intervene in Libya. He also said that Egypt had this right to interfere, as Egypt was interfering for the purpose of implementing a ceasefire in Libya. Secondly, he said that the Egyptian House of Representatives, HOR, tribes of Libya, they want Egypt to implement these red lines. And thirdly, viewers, he said that other countries, they want to create instability in the region, and in order to make Egyptian borders secure and safe, Egypt will definitely go for direct military intervention in Libya. As I told you that I spoke about this intention of Egypt regarding direct intervention in Libya in several of my previous videos. Because step by step we have seen several developments from Egyptian side. And each of these developments was telling us that Egypt is definitely thinking about direct military intervention in Libya. Firstly, viewers, we saw that Egyptian military buildup it took place along Libya-Egypt border, Abu Salim Gate, between these borders of Libya and Egypt. There we saw huge military buildup by Egypt. Egyptian Abrams tanks, attack helicopters, armored vehicles. We saw that large convoys of these vehicles, they were seen heading towards this Libya-Egypt border. After that, we saw that Egyptian high-ranking officers, General Farid, he visited that place. He met with the troops there, and he held several important meetings there. And these meetings were made public. Then, thirdly, we saw these recent leaked images from Sidi Barani Air Base. I uploaded a video about that as well. And in those pictures, we saw that F-16 fighter jets and Mirage fighter jets, they were seen parked at this airbase. Airbase is close to this border between Libya and Egypt, and some attack helicopters as well. So this was the third message from Egypt to Libya. Then the fourth message was the most important message. This fourth one, the last one. The Egyptian President Al Sisi, he himself went to Sidi Barani, this air base near Libyan border. He met with the troops there. He had meeting with them, and he told them to be well prepared for any operation inside or outside Egypt. So now there is no doubt, viewers, that Egypt has announced that it will definitely go for direct military intervention in Libya if red lines are crossed by Turkey and GNA. So far, a response from Turkey, response from GNA, viewers. Sirte control room, GNA side, they just said that it is a declaration of war by Egypt. It is against international law. No statement from Turkish Foreign Ministry so far, as I'm making this video, but it is due to come very soon. Now, viewers, what will Turkey do now? And if Egypt decides to intervene, what will be the future of this war? Firstly, as I informed you day before yesterday about the presence of Russian fighter jets in Sirte and Al Jufra, as photographed by AFRICOM, that it was becoming difficult for Turkey to launch this offensive for Sirte and Al Jufra because there was this presence of Wagner fighters of Russia and the Russian fighter jets MiG-29 and Sukhoi-24. Now this second development, very clear message from Al Sisi that they will definitely go for direct military intervention if Turkey GNA decide to cross this red line. Because it has become now very difficult for Turkey, I think, to launch an offensive for Sirte and the areas to the east of Sirte. And that is why we heard this statement just a few hours ago that Turkey is calling upon Al side to retreat from Sirte. I think now they are not talking about the oil crescent, they are talking about only Sirte. So they want Al to withdraw from Sirte, they want to control Sirte, and they might not launch an offensive for the oil crescent. Now, will that be acceptable for LNA and Egypt? And is this the official statement, official stance of Turkey or not? That is also important to know because so far no official statement from Turkey that they want LNA to retreat from Sirte and they'll be confined to Sirte only. No official statement so far, but I think it might happen that there might be some compromise between them and Turkey might want parts of Sirte and then negotiations, then ceasefire might come into force. Secondly, viewers, if Egypt decides to intervene in this conflict directly, what sort of consequences will it have for Turkey and GNA? I don't want to compare Egyptian and Turkish militaries, their battlefield skills, their drones or their tanks, how sophisticated their equipment is. No, I won't be going into this detail, but I will just tell you about one thing. One thing is most important when it comes to a war, and that is your supply line. How secure, how safe your supply line is, it is the most important thing. Now, if you look at the supply line of GNA and Turkey, Turkey will have to bring everything into Libya via the Mediterranean or by air. This supply by air or through the Mediterranean, it is not very safe, very secure. On the other hand, Egyptian supply, it will all be brought through this land route between Libya, Egypt. So their supply line, I think it will be more secure, more sustainable than the supply line of Turkey and GNA. And if this war breaks out between Turkey and Egypt and this war goes on for some time, I think it will become easy, increasingly it will become easy for Egypt to supply their troops with all the military equipments. Then the supply line of Turkey and GNA. That is why if I look at any expected confrontation between two countries, Egypt and Turkey, I think Egypt does have an advantage. That is why I think Turkey is, though Turkey has been saying that they do want control of Sirte Al Jufra, they do want to have control of this oil crescent. But I think it was just flexing of muscles from Turkey's side. They won't go for all-out offensive for this oil crescent. They know that they should not make other countries be part of this war against them. Because if Egypt and then France too, France has some serious problems with Turkey as well. Turkey would not like to make all its opponents come together against Turkey. I think we would in the coming days we might see some sort of ceasefire, some sort of agreement, because this Egyptian clear stance, it will help a lot in finding some solution to this problem.